Eichel. I mean,
Yep.
he was a guy that was in the news recently, of course, frustrated they didn't even make the 24-team playoff. And I think we touched on this halfway through the season where for what he's brought to the organization, I think he's held up his end of the bargain up until this point. And I think given what he's given the organization, if not by the end of next year, I feel as a guy with his stature and his ability, I think it's fair game for him to ask to be moved. And if not at the end of next season, if they haven't made playoffs and made steps to improve as an organization and putting guys around him, at least this halfway through the season after that, if he hasn't seen any type of improvement. Like, I love the Buffalo Sabres fan base, and I know that that's a major piece in order for you guys to turn things around. And if he ain't there, you might have to wait another fucking 5-10 years. But you gotta show him something. And I'm not saying that because he's a fan of the show. I'm just saying I think he's been patient with what they've tried to put around him.
I agree with you. 5 years, it's a long time, and he continues every single year. The numbers have gone up. How often? We need to look back and try to figure out a player who the first 5 years in the league had more points than this year. I don't know what they're going to do with the stats, but he would have easily smashed last year of 82. So the thing is, too, that he makes $10 million. He's got 6 more years after this. Who wouldn't take this guy for $10 million?
That's a bargain.
Me? This guy can do it all, and he's just sick and tired of losing. And like you said, Biz, it's a business, but he's covered his end. He's had his guy. So in the end, if you don't start winning games, you can understand if a guy was publicly like, I don't want to be here anymore. Fans will hate him for it in Buffalo, but in the end, if it mattered to him that much that he wants to get out into a winning culture in a different organization, then that could happen. Who knows? It's just really hard to go through the prime of your career, and the prime now is way younger, and the team just being shit. It's disheartening to see your peers playing meaningful games and you're not.
Bingo. And you just mentioned the fact that there's been a shift. So in the first 10 years, that's when you got to strike. I feel like now. Sid ended up getting one early. I mean, Ovi was the exception where he ended up finally getting it later on. But think about how many years Ovi got to play with teams where he was able to put up those points, and it was fun. Having the opinion that I have, you always look for the counter argument. And some people said, oh, well, he loses steam late in the season and started fading at the end of this one. And you're like, well, yeah. I mean, he was fucking putting on a show for 50, and then he's got to deal with the media every day as to why the team's still shit, and they don't know the emotional drain that takes on a guy. Take a guy like that out of there, put him with a team where they can snap it around, and his life and job are a lot easier because not only are you winning games, but we all know when you're playing with better players that the points start coming in a little easier as well. So I can't even take that side of the argument with any type of serious discretion. So if that was even the word I was looking for. So, all the power to Buffalo, and I hope they can turn things around quick, because if I'm him, I'm getting the fuck out.
Yeah, when you look at the roster, I mean, it's certainly not the coach. They love Ralph Kruger. They don't have a bona fide number one goalie. When you look at the cap and what they're spending, they're not getting bang for their buck. Like the guys that are getting paid, they're not getting the play you expect for that salary. And there's, man, I don't know if it's a culture. They've changed things. They're trying this, and fuck, man, you do wonder at a certain point is he going to get out of there, because it's just frustrating as hell. So. We feel for him, and we want every team to be good. And like you said, Buffalo has dynamite fans, but at what point is he just going to get too fucking frustrated with this?